Terrorists storm a luxury hotel complex in Nairobi. Grenades detonate. Automatic fire echoes through the courtyard for 19 hours. The world holds its breath. Then the doors burst open, outnumbered but not outgunned. An elite team moves with chilling precision. They are the shadows of the Kenya Defense Forces, and they are about to show the world why they are the undisputed kings of East Africa's battlegrounds. This is not just another army. This is the KDF, a force forged in the crucible of colonial wars and reborn to fight a new, more sinister enemy. An enemy that has tried time and again to break the spirit of a nation. But in doing so, they have awakened a sleeping lion. How did a military once designed for ceremonial duties transform into a lethal battle? Hardened force that has become the worst nightmare for one of the world's most feared terrorist groups. The answer lies in a story of cold-blooded revenge, high-tech weaponry, and the relentless courage of its special forces. To understand the warrior spirit of the modern Kenya Defense Forces, or KDF, you must first understand its primary enemy, Harakat Al-Shabaab al-Mujahideen. For years, this Al-Qaeda-affiliated terror group has waged a brutal campaign from its lawless strongholds in Somalia, launching devastating attacks inside Kenya. They brought carnage to the Westgate Mall in 2013. They massacred 147 people, mostly students, at Garissa University College in 2015. Each attack was designed to bleed Kenya, to terrorize its people, and to force its government to its knees. But they miscalculated badly, because with every attack, they were not just killing innocent people, they were forging a new kind of Kenyan soldier. A soldier driven by a national mandate to defend the homeland. And in 2011, Kenya decided it had had enough. On the 16th of October 2011, Kenya did something it had never done in its history. It invaded another country, codenamed Operation Nchi, or Protect the Country. Thousands of KDF soldiers, backed by tanks and air power, stormed across the border into Somalia. The mission, to hunt down Al-Shabaab in their own backyard and create a buffer zone to protect Kenya. It was a radical, high-stakes gamble. The world watched skeptical, but the KDF was relentless. They seized key towns like Afmadoh and the vital port city of Kismayo, a major source of income for the terrorists. One of the most stunning victories came with an amphibious landing at Kismayo codenamed Operation Sledgehammer. Before dawn, elite operators from the Special Operations Regiment landed on the beaches, seizing strategic targets before the main infantry force linked up. Al-Shabaab forces, caught completely by surprise, hastily withdrew. This was a new KDF, a force that was no longer just defending, it was attacking, and it had the tools to do it. So what makes the KDF such a formidable opponent? It starts with the hardware. While it may not have the budget of a global superpower, Kenya has invested heavily in creating a modern, capable military. The backbone of the Kenya Army's ground assault is its fleet of over 180 tanks, primarily Vickers main battle tanks and modernized T-72s. These are supported by a vast array of armored personnel carriers and new mine-resistant ambush-protected vehicles, or MRAPs, specifically designed to counter the IEDs favored by terrorists. In the skies, the Kenya Air Force provides critical support. Though its fleet of F-5 fighter jets is aging, they have been used effectively for ground attack missions in Somalia. More importantly, the Air Force operates a formidable fleet of transport aircraft and helicopters, giving the KDF the ability to move troops and supplies rapidly across the vast distances of the region. And on the water, the Kenya Navy dominates the East African coastline. With bases in Mombasa and Manda Bay, its fleet of patrol boats and offshore vessels are crucial for intercepting smugglers and preventing terrorists from infiltrating by sea. But this arsenal is not just about the machines, it is about the partnerships. The United States has designated Kenya a major non-NATO ally, opening the door for closer military cooperation and access to advanced weaponry. Both the US and the UK are deeply involved in training Kenya's elite forces, with joint exercises like Justified Accord, ensuring the KDF is ready to operate alongside the world's best. But the true tip of the spear, the weapon that Al-Shabaab fears the most, is Kenya's Special Operations Regiment, or SAW. This is the umbrella for Kenya's most elite units, the 20th Parachute Battalion, the 40th Rangers, Strike Force, and the highly secretive 30th Special Forces. These are not ordinary soldiers. Entry into these units is brutal. They are picked from the best of the best and pushed past the limits of human endurance. The 40th Rangers Strike Force is modeled after the elite US 75th Ranger Regiment, while the 30th Special Forces are trained by and modeled after the legendary British SAS. Their mission: airborne operations, commando raids, counterinsurgency, and deep reconnaissance behind enemy lines. It was these elite operators who were thrust into the spotlight during the 2019 Dusit D2 hotel attack. While Al-Shabaab terrorists expected to cause mass casualties in a prolonged siege, they were met with a swift and lethal response. The coordination between the KDF Special Forces and other police tactical units was a world away from the confused response during the earlier Westgate attack. The operators eliminated the 5 militants and secured the complex, a clear demonstration of their improved capabilities. President Uhuru Kenyatta confirmed the success, stating the attackers had been eliminated. More recently, these units continue to hunt Al-Shabaab in the border regions. Intelligence-led operations, often guided by surveillance drones, have seen elite SOG units track and neutralize terrorists in Garissa, Mandera, and Wajir counties, recovering caches of weapons and crippling the group's activities. But the KDF mission extends far beyond its own borders. Kenya has become a cornerstone of regional stability, a critical player in international peacekeeping. For decades, Kenyan soldiers have worn the blue helmets of the United Nations, serving in missions from Namibia to Croatia to Liberia. Today, they are a major force in the African Union Transition Mission in Somalia, the successor to AMISOM, where they continue to battle Al-Shabaab and try to stabilize the war-torn nation. And they are on the front lines in the volatile Eastern Democratic Republic of the Congo, deployed as part of a UN force to protect civilians from armed groups. This commitment to peacekeeping enhances Kenya's international image and provides its troops with invaluable experience. It proves that the KDF is not just a force for war, but a force for peace in a region that desperately needs it. Yet, the fight is far from over. The threat is constantly evolving. Al-Shabaab, though weakened, remains a resilient and dangerous foe. Regional instability continues to simmer. The KDF must now contend with new threats, from cyber warfare to maritime piracy. The Lion of Africa cannot afford to rest. It has proven its strength, its professionalism, and its will to fight. From its origins as a colonial-era force, the Kenya Defense Forces have been transformed into a modern, lethal, and respected military power. They have faced down terror on their own soil and taken the fight to the enemy. They have become the shield of a nation and a key guarantor of peace in one of the world's most dangerous neighborhoods. Al-Shabaab wanted to break Kenya. Instead, they created a monster, a highly trained, well-equipped, and battle-hardened military that is now, and will continue to be, their absolute worst nightmare.